During the 1970s, Peter Honey and Alan Mumford studied and expanded upon David Kolb's learning model. Honey and Mumford proposed that individuals needed to use one of 4 different learning styles in order to complete activities. These 4 styles include activists, reflectors, pragmatists, and theorists. The activist learns by doing things rather than seeing, reading, and even listening. They seek out challenges and prefer to be working in a hands-on problem-solving manner. They will avoid repetition and even planning. They prefer brainstorming and finding novel, new ideas to solve dilemmas. A reflector is a learner who observes. This type of learner will reflect on what is occurring around them. They will avoid confrontation and watch from the sidelines. A reflector collects as much information as possible prior to making a choice. Generally, they are seen as being very slow to make up their minds. In contrast, a theorist prefers to adapt and integrate observations and collections of data. The theorist builds upon models, theories, concepts, and facts to learn. These types of learners are uncomfortable with any ambiguity and confusion. Order will completely surround this type of learner. Pragmatists enjoy experimenting with new information, theory, and even techniques. They desire to see if something will work. They will consistently look for practical implications of new ideas and theories before they will make a judgment on any value. Unlike theorists, though, pragmatists have very little use for theory and abstract ideas unless there is a practical use. There is a strong correlation between the Kolb and the Honey-Mumford theories. The 4 learning styles of the Honey-Mumford theory is similar to the Kolb. An activist is the same as an accommodator, a reflector, a diverger, a theorist, an assimilator, and a pragmatist, a converger. Honey-Mumford stated, "Our description of the steps in the learning cycle originated from the work of David Kolb." Kolb uses different words to describe the stages of the learning cycle and the 4 learning styles. The similarities between his model and ours are greater than the differences. Honey-Mumford does have a learning style inventory, which will assist in the identification on the dominant learning style. The inventory consists of 80 statements, which require a yes or no answer, and the scores are tallied and plotted on a chart. The mature learner should have a pattern like a kite that looks like it, and then this would refer to a balanced result. There are, of course, strengths for each of these different learning styles. An activist will be flexible and open-minded. They are happy to have anything to go. They are very happy to be involved in change and new situations, and they're optimistic about anything new, and they're very unlikely to resist any kind of change. A reflector is very thorough and methodical. They're going to be very good at planning. They like to listen to others and assimilate information. They're going to collect information before they jump to a conclusion. A theorist is a vertical thinker. They're rational, they're objective, and they're going to ask many questions in order to really understand. They have a disciplined approach to learning. A pragmatist likes to test things out in practice. They're down to earth and they're realistic. They're very businesslike and they like to get straight to the point. They have a certain technique that they're going to follow. There are weaknesses for each of these learning styles. An activist tends to take an obvious immediate action. They're going to often take many risks, and they have a tendency to do too much for themselves, and they enjoy being in the limelight. This sometimes is going to overpower the other learners, especially in a group situation. They will rush into action without thinking things through, and they get very bored very quickly. They love to have a lot of risk and change. A reflector likes to hold back from a direct participation because they're more of an observer. They like to think, to reflect, and to really ponder what's going on. They can be seen sometimes as being slow to make up their minds, which is not necessarily the case. They're just very quietly absorbing enough information before they will come to a decision. They tend to be very cautious, not risk-taking, and they're not very assertive. A theorist likes lateral thinking, and they have a very low tolerance for any kind of disorder, ambiguity, or uncertainty. They are intolerant of anything subjective or intuitive. They are going to fill their mind and their life with facts, things that are tangible that they can quickly prove. They have a weakness of having should-haves, ought-haves, and must-haves. The pragmatist likes to test things out. Remember, very hands-on, practical, experiential learner. They're realistic, and they are going to get right to the point, and they are very, very technique-oriented.